for teaching us the truth of the Bible. Peace and mercy to the brothers around the world pushing the truth. We're the Hebrew Israelites, and we come out every week to prophesy the downfall of this kingdom, America, which is the daughter of Babylon in the Bible, and to teach you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that you are the Lord's chosen people. Today, I got some info, on how, Esau, how he changed, the Lord's name. He changed the language altogether. Because when you look up in Wikipedia, there's this man named, his name is Giorgio Tresino, and it says Giorgio Tresino, also called Giorgio Tresino, was an Italian Renaissance humanist, poet, dramatist, diplomat, and grammarian. Now, when you look up a humanist is a philosophical stance that emphasizes the value of agency of human beings. And then it says, so it says, in modern times, which is today, in modern times, humanist movements are typically non-religious movements.
That means they don't believe in the Most High.
That's right. So humanism, that's a philosophy, and that's that they don't believe in the Most High, that they're non-religion, To be a humanist, there's things going.
There's no God in there.
Yep.
There's no room for God. And then there's a thing called transhumanism. And that's when you get to fall into the fucking beast. Now, I got a scripture after you get that.
Whenever you want to read.
Alright,
let me get that. So it said he was a humanist, right? And a grammarian. So when you look up a grammarian, it's a philology is the study of language. It's the study of language in oral and written historical sources. So it's language from historical sources. That's what this guy studied. He studied. That's what grammar is all about.
Right. Bring it out.
Okay, so that's what he was. And then Tresino was born of a patrician family in Vesina. He sided with Holy Roman Emperor Maximilian. See, so that tells you that he was with on the Roman side,
Humanism stuff.
Yep. And it goes on. He then traveled to Germany and Lombardy and was pardoned by Venice in 1516. So this was around the 1500s, and then it said he was eventually came under the protection of Pope Leo X, Pope Clement, and Pope Paul. So that tells you he was also underneath the Roman Catholic Church, because it says he was under the protection of these three popes.
Damn, 3 popes?
Yeah.
I didn't bring my Bible dictionary. Well, I'm pretty sure something's in there about language.
So this man, he had authority, he had the advantages of a good humanistic training, studying Greek under Demetrius Chalcondylas. So he studied the Greek, that's what the Bible's written in Greek, Greek and Hebrew.
The New Testament? Yes, sir. we're talking about language. So if you can, like that guy, right? Study oral history. So oral history has to do with speaking the history. You tell your children the history, and then your children tell their children the history. And that's how it's oral history. So if this guy studied it, he could change it. He could write books about it and have the other people feel that know about it.
And another word for grammar is linguistics, you know, and that's what this man studied, you know, because when you go to linguistics, it's the scientific study of language and its structure. The study of language and its structure, you know, everything about it, you know, how it was formed, what it looks like, how it sounds, you know, including the study of morphology.
Yeah.
See that? Now, let me get the definition for morphology. The study of the forms of things. And then, morphology is the study of the form of things. Also, the term morphology is Greek and is a makeup of morph, meaning shape or form. You know, so that's what morphology is, you know, the shape or form of a character of a letter.
Man. So in the Hebrew, so that dude has to have studied the Hebrew. If you study the language, see, these people know the name. These Edomites know the name. How did people like that get to study that? I mean, because I can't get a job like that. I was watching Jaws, and remember that guy that studied the sharks? Have you ever seen Jaws?
Oh, yeah.
So he was a rich dude, and the only way he had that job is because he paid for it himself. He had the luxury. You see how that worked? He knows so much about sharks because it was his interest, and he didn't ask nobody for money. He didn't ask the government for money. He had the money. This guy had the money too.
Yeah, because he knew how to take down that shark.
Yes, sir. And right now, and this time, the shark is Jacob. Destroy them by destroying the knowledge of the language, right? Because what's the big topic right now? Nate saying that that's not the name. He's just confusing himself, man, and he's gonna pay for it. Because he's confusing his sheep, and his sheep are starting to wake up. You guys better start your own camp.
So when you go to linguistics too, it says the study, linguistics study language such as sounds and meanings. Sounds and meanings, you know. So that tells you right there that languages, they have meanings, you know. Names, they have meanings. And also patterns, how language interact with one another.
Let's see how patterns and how languages interact with one another. Let's say, you know what Spanglish is? So that's English and Spanish mixed together. We talk like that in the office all day, and nobody's like, what are you talking about? Because we know both languages. But let's say somebody didn't know Spanish, or somebody didn't know English. Half of that conversation, they'll be lost. So that's the same way Nate's doing you people, man. You people in IUIC. That's how Nate's doing you. Go ahead, brother.
I was gonna say, it does matter. The slightest sound, you know, of a word. The slightest sound of a word, it does matter. Because it says, linguistic study, language structure at several theoretical levels that range in size from tiny units of speech sounds to the context of an entire conversation. So all the way from a tiny sound all the way to a conversation. That's how much it could change, you know?
Well, let me just say this. There is people go to school and they get trained in professional speakers. There's all kinds of professional speakers that know this. Read that again. That's a beautiful part. That's a beautiful part.
Because it said linguistics study language structure at several theoretical levels that range in size from tiny units of speech sounds to the context of entire conversation.
And you know why and you know how you know that they know the name? When the first time they hear the name, they say, "You're not supposed to say that." Right? You ever heard that? I heard these people say that all the time. You're not supposed to say that because, man, well, that name brings out a vibration and it has a tone and it has a meaning. If spirits are afraid of that name, you know Esau knows. So how else is he going to control them? Well, maybe he doesn't know how to control them with the name. And you can't control spirits with the name. You can rebuke them in the name. If you're doing all that witchcraft stuff, whoa, and even witches, they have the culture and the language and the linguistics and the oral history. And they tell you how to say the spell, exactly tone for tone.
Yeah.
Sound for sound.
Yeah, with those witchcraft rituals, you know those books? What's it called? The Neo-Macri. I forgot what the Evil Dead book or something.
Oh, yeah. Necromantic or something?
You gotta say it the right way in order to
Right.
summon that
In order to get the power. And then if you want to, or asking for a prayer, you have to ask in the right name, in the right tone, in the right sounds of the word.
the right spirit.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, come on, you're not going to say the name of the Lord and be like,
Yeah.
that's so funny, man. Go ahead, man, because I got a bunch of stuff for you.
Want to read scripture?
Well, yeah, let me give one scripture. Because brother's talking about how language is important and how you can confuse the people with language, or by taking away that language, or by changing the language, by adding a little e in there, or extra wa in there. You could change the name pretty quick. And if you're not studied, that means that another culture took over your culture. So this is the second book of Maccabees, chapter 4 and 9. Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise and for training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochians. Antiochus, see? That's a whole change of culture right there. That's taking one language, changing it, and making it to another language. So they went from Hebrew to Greek.
To set a place of exercise for the heathen.
For the heathen. Language is a place of exercise. That's what these motherfuckers talk in circles. Like Vocab Malone, he does that. That's his exercise for it. The language. He goes around in circles. But what if it's what did it do? What? That's just like, man, you know, that's why the Bible says that your yea be yea and your nay be nay. So let me get another point. Verse 13. Now such was the height of Greek fashions and increase of heathenish manners through the exceeding profaneness of Jason. And that Jason right now is Nathaniel. That ungodly wretch and no high priest. Because he's making you say the name in Greek, in basically Greek, in Latin. That's Jason.
Jason.
But I got the real hitter right here. When you're done with that, I got the real hitter right here. It's the prologue to Sirach.
So it says more on this guy Tresino. In 1532, the Emperor Charles V made Tricino, a Count Palatine. His family had favored the plans of Maximilian. He was held in high esteem throughout Italy.
Now, can I say this? What if I said Carlos Pinto? Is that Charles V? Or Charles V? What if it was Charles V with a 5? Does it still mean the same as a V?
See how I read that? It is a V, you know? See, because the brother knew.
See, but man, some of you don't know. Some of you don't know, and that's sad, bro. That's sad.
Because you're supposed to say the 5th.
The 5th. But this conversation would have never happened if I didn't know.
So it says, from 1538 through 1540, Tricino returned to his studies at the University of Padua, just like the brother was saying, exercise, you know, the studies. Right here, at the University of Padua, with an abiding interest in Plato and the question of free will. He was about free will. You know?
Hold on, let me get some free will, okay? Since you said free will.
Because it said he was in studies at the university and had the question of free will.
All right, so this is Proverbs 20 and 24. Man's goings are of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. How can a man then understand his own way? Because this guy said, oh, I want to study free will. So if you're going to study, you don't understand it. So if you're trying to get some understanding, but at the end of the day, you don't even understand.
Because you may think we have free will, but it's actually the Lord who's pulling the strings to make you move, to make you talk, you know, make you think,
To make you come alive.
So it's our free will that we know that it's the Lord's will, that we're doing the Lord's will, you know. So we that's why we say there's no free will. Let's see. Said Tricino died in Rome in December 1550. Okay. An edition of his collected works was published at Verona in 1729. Okay, now here it talks about linguistics. Okay, linguistics, like how I was saying. It says his endeavors in the field of linguistics received lively reaction in the literary world of the time.
And that's just me. See, all kinds of scriptures come to mind, and if you don't have it, you don't have it. Do that again, read it.
So, his endeavors in the field of linguistics received lively reactions in the literary world of the time. So they were in the field of studying the language and received lively reactions. I said he advocated the enrichment of the Italian language. So enrichment means supposed to be higher quality, right?
Yeah, best quality.
But really he made it less quality. You know?
Yeah. So this is John 17 and 11. And now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world. And I come to thee, Holy Father, keep through thine own name, through thy own name, those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are. So we're not supposed to be part of this world. We're not supposed to study Greek. Well, we are supposed to study Greek, but we're not supposed to get into it. Like, study Greek and then start wearing Greek clothes and do our hair Greek style and all that stuff. That's of the world. especially that guy that studies the linguistics, he's trying to acquire different cultures.
So it said, in 1529, the theory that the language is a courtly one made up of contributions.
Damn.
See, right there it says that the language is a courtly one made up of contributions from the refined centers in Italy. His theory was supported by the publication, also in 1529.
So that's in Rome, huh? In Italy, that's Rome. So who's in charge there? Rome, Italy.
Come on, brother.
Rome and Italy, the Vatican. Well, because they study all kinds of languages. They have their churches all over the world. And instead of it being like having brothers all over the world that speak different languages, they go and capture and trap and then change the whole culture and then make them accept a new culture. Like Nathaniel, he's making you accept a Latin name for a Hebrew God. Come on. That's just what it was. It's a Hebrew Messiah, but you want to call him a Latin name, an English name? English is the worst language ever. Carry on with your lesson. Good.
So it goes on. Heated discussions followed his 1524 essay, which he proposed to reform by adding the following letters to distinguish sounds of the spoken language. See, so there was heated discussions. People didn't like that when he started adding letters. You know, right here it says he proposed to reform by adding the following letters to distinguish sounds. Now these are, see how it said right there, the new letters?
Also, those are new letters, huh? Yeah.
And these are the letters. It's a E. He added E, O, U, I, and J.
Well, J's the newest one, man.
You know?
But he learned them from other cultures, right? And then he adopted them.
Because 1529 was around the time, or 1524 was around time it says it got published. Yep, see, 1524.
Yeah. That's right. That's brand new. That's brand spanking new.
Because I barely seen this too, because a brother posted this on one of the comments. He said he found out that this man Tracino came out with the letter J.
Woo. So now we know. Now you can't say nothing.
It says the idea was taken up for J and B, which eventually caught up also for other European languages.
Damn.
So it got mixed into the English, the letter J. You know, that's how it came about. That's how the language got messed up.
So, how do we make these people understand? Because they believe their own deceit. If they keep calling on J words, then you can definitely say you don't know much, because that's available online.
Then it says, about the letter J, before being largely abandoned in contemporary Italian, which generally spells the sound J with an I.
Oh, damn.
So the J is supposed to be that was supposed to be an I. That's why you see in the King James, the J's are the I's.
The J's are the I's and the F's are the S. What else? That's a total invention. That's an invention right there. See, so that's how you invent a god. That's how you invent a whole culture. And I gotta get that one. Let me get you Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians. 2 and 3. And we've been bringing this out in Zoom meetings. Like, brother from Delano, he brings it out all the time. And Caleb does too. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means. So what's the mean? A way to do it, right? If this is a way to deceive people, and then you're letting them deceive you, right? You're falling for it. For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. And right now we're having a big falling away about the name. The whole nation of Israel is all messed up. They don't understand. They don't understand how to study for themselves. Because some certain men are keeping the name from them. And they know this information. That's all I wanted to say. Oh, you know what? Let me continue. Who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called Yahweh, or that is worshipped, so that he, as Yahweh, sitteth in the temple of Yahweh, shewing himself that he is Yahweh. So if he's telling you this is the name, it's okay to say it like this. And he's dictating who you're worshiping. Because if you type in the letter J, Jesus, on your Google screen, who's going to come out? Caesar Borgia. So that was an invention too. 2 inventions.
Yeah. They changed the language and they changed the image.
That's how you do it, man. You know what? I gotta get it now. Revelation 18. Man, say that again.
They changed both the language and the image. They just messed the whole entire, the whole entire Lord's, what he's about.